Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Art of Creation Homestead. My name is Jason. If you follow along with us too much, you understand that we're very chicken-focused people. These girls out here are pretty much the central idea around a lot of what we do. It's because we produce a lot of eggs, or enough eggs, a good amount of eggs, and we like to grow a lot of food. And it's really important to us to treat our girls well, feed them well, so they're happy and healthy and produce a lot of eggs. Because good eggs also means good food. And so when taking care of our chickens, we also like to help others take care of their chickens well and understand their chickens well. But there's a lot of misinformation out there about chickens that will also lead you down the path to believe something else that's not true about chickens. So let's cover a lot of chicken misinformation today. One of the things that really cracks me up about chickens, like when you go to buy eggs in the store, maybe chicken meat in the store, it'll say vegetarian fed or vegetarian diet. And that's just not what's best for the chickens. You see, while chickens are fed a feed like we feed our chickens, New Country Organics, this is actually some soaked feed that they enjoy eating once in a while, because this feed's easily soaked because it's a whole grain. You know, it's not a super processed feed, so it's got cracked grains really. But like, while chickens love their feed and we don't feed them animal parts.
See, they're pretty excited. They know what's coming. Watch out. Watch out, children. All right, come on, kids.
They also are not vegetarians. Like, they're eating that food like crazy, but they also eat other animals, right? Bugs, insects, worms. They're actually very carnivorous. They're carnivores. They will eat meat. Now, I don't feed mine meat. Okay, I'm not a proponent for feeding chickens to chicken. The chickens will say, or some people do use like a fish meal. That does happen from time to time. We don't feed fish meal to our chickens, but they like, you know, they eat meat. Like, they're actually kind of bloodthirsty. If they see blood on they see a lot of blood on another chicken, they might very well attack that chicken because of the blood. They are one of the closest things, if not the closest animal to a dinosaur that we have living today. So to say that the chickens have been given a vegetarian diet would imply that that's what's best for them and that's the healthiest eggs, which is not. We just did a video on the healthiest eggs there are. You can check that out. But like, it leads you down the path to thinking that it's best for chickens to have vegetarian diets, that the eggs are the healthiest and all that other stuff, which is simply not true. Chickens are carnivorous. They should have the opportunity to eat bugs and worms and other insects and whatnot. And being real, they're meat eaters. They're not vegetarians. So a little bit of misinformation. Another piece of misinformation is going to be that a chicken's going to lay one egg every single day. Simply not true.
Some of these girls will lay more often than others, like this one right here has laid every day for the last 58 days. And you can see why. She's active, she eats a lot, she's hyper.
But it's actually just really not normal. Now, all of our chickens are heritage breed chickens. They're not hybrid chickens. Hybrid chickens will lay eggs more often. They have essentially a 26-hour cycle, though. Some a little more, some might be 24 hours, right? Like Judy there that I just showed you has laid very often, but she's not going to lay like that all the time. Eventually, she will stop laying like that, and eventually she'll go molt and she won't lay for maybe 2 months or so. It just happens that way. I just had a chicken peck my toe, but they're not going to lay every day. Simply not. They might lay, a good layer is going to lay 6 eggs a week. A great layer might lay every day for 12 straight days or 20 straight days, or like Judy, 58 straight days and still counting. But it's not going to be all the time. And after they only lay like that in their first, full season of laying, we'll say like spring, late winter, spring, and early summer is the best time for eggs. After that, it's going to vary some. They're not laying 300 eggs in a year. Really not going to happen, okay? That you might have some once in a while. A hybrid chicken will do so. It just isn't reality to have one laying like that all the time. Leads me to the idea of how long they will lay into their life. A lot of people are going to tell you 2 or 3 years, that's it. That's not true either. We have 9-year-old hens in there that have laid eggs this year. Now, do they lay less as they get older? Sure. But we had 5- and 6-year-old hens that lay really well. So to say that they're not productive past 2 or 3 years is also fake news, okay? Misinformation. You gotta battle that sometimes, especially when you're dealing with your chickens, because they are beneficial later into their life than what people give them credit for. Another thing you'll notice with our chickens is that we do not have a rooster because we do not need a rooster, right? Some people believe that you need a rooster for eggs. Simply not true. You don't need a rooster for eggs. You need a rooster to have fertile eggs, right? Male, female. So you need a rooster to be able to reproduce, and also you don't need a rooster to protect them. Really don't. A rooster will only protect them from possibly a hawk, but beyond that, a good rooster is just going to be the first one to die. Okay, like if there's a predator attack, raccoon, weasel, mink, fox, coyote, owl, hawk, whatever, a good rooster is just going to be the first one to die. Plain and simple. They might stand in the way, they might alert, do things like that, but they're just going to be the first one to die. They're not going to protect your hens from anything. Got it? Good protection is the chicken owner's responsibility. Make sure they are in an area that is safe, that no predator can penetrate, and that you are watching out for them when they're outside, if they're outside. This will be one that might ruffle some feathers. Heck, it might open some eyes. All chickens do not have salmonella. Now, I'm not going to recommend that you kill one of these lovely ladies and that you eat that meat raw. Heck no. No, not at all. But chicken meat that has salmonella in it comes from chickens that have been exposed to nasty environments, possibly rat feces in their feed. See, that's why you can't trust the commercial farms meat, which, by the way, don't eat raw chicken, please. But that's why you can't trust their meat, is that you don't know what they've been exposed to. Poor quality feed, poor quality environment. You don't really know, so you shouldn't really test it. And you shouldn't test it anyways, by the way. There's other things besides salmonella that you can get from chickens, but either way, all chickens don't have salmonella. That's why you gotta be careful, is that if there's a salmonella outbreak, it's because the chicken's been in a poor environment. But chickens don't naturally have salmonella. They get salmonella from things that have been carried into their environment, okay? Had somebody ask me one time, well, aren't all eggs brown? They get bleached white? Like, this is a really nice brown egg, but there's also white eggs. There's also blue eggs, which we've seen, and green eggs, which we have, right? Blue and green eggs we both have, and the brown. We don't have any white egg layers. But, so no, all eggs are not are not brown. The egg color is determined by the breed, and therefore, whatever. Now, eggs are the eggs in the commercial in the store. They're grown commercially or raised commercially. They are washed in a solution that might have some bleach in it, okay? And just a light amount, just for sanitization purposes. Eggshells are porous, so maybe that's not the best way to wash your eggs, because maybe you don't want the bleach getting into the egg, because the shell is porous. But either way, no, the eggs are not bleached white. They just come out of the chicken white, okay? And in most scenarios, you can tell what color egg the chicken's gonna lay by looking at their lobes. When I say lobes, I mean, like, look at Tootie right here, right behind her eyes, right above her wattles. There's a little lobe right there. She's gonna go. Those are actually their ears, okay? And that if they're red, if the lobe's red, they're probably gonna lay a brown egg. If it's white, they're gonna lay a white egg. And our blue egg layers, they have a little blue tint in there. So typically it is. I'm not sure if that's 100% true for every chicken breed, but typically you can go with that. I've heard this one before. Chickens are nasty. They eat poop. That's fake. As you can see, we're looking at our girls. They're eating food, not manure, right? And what happens there might be chickens that eat manure. That would be a chicken that has been kept in filthy conditions. Also be a chicken that has been given a terrible diet, maybe even starved a little bit, because then they're just desperate looking for some kind of nourishment or protein, right? So chickens naturally do not eat manure. It's just simply not true. They don't do it. Chickens, when fed well and kept well, eat feed and bugs and worms and insects and whatever, things like that, right? And grass and weeds. They don't eat poop. And the last one that really kind of gets on my nerves a little bit is that chickens have a bird brain. They're dumb. just simply not true. Chickens have the ability to remember faces, remember their flock mates. We have chickens that remember things from every year. They know when we plant the garden. They know what the plants, that this plant produces food they want to eat. They're very aware of that. Like, so we have a chicken that likes to eat ground cherries, okay, or likes to eat blackberries. This blackberry bush right here is a good point. They know they're not there all the time, right? So it's not a day in, day out thing. They're only there for a little while every year, but somehow they know that plant produces something that they love to eat, and so they'll be right there waiting on it when it produces the next year. Chickens have the ability to sense when there's danger. They know, they have a social order, so there's a boss, and they have relationships and friendships inside of their flocks. They can remember, like, I think it's 50 or more flock mate faces, maybe up to 100, I forget exactly the number, but they can remember flock mates, and they have the social order there. Chickens think stupid. They may be a little simple-minded. Some of them might be a little crazy, but they're not stupid. So remember, this chicken-loving feller has made you aware that some of this stuff is just simply chicken misinformation or fake news about these super valuable, underrated animals that you can use to produce a lot of good food in your backyard. Everybody should have one, actually. Okay, everybody should have 6 hens at least to produce their own eggs. Just something they need to have, and they're valuable. They're worth it. Good to have around, and they're quite funny to watch too. So thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate it. My name is Jason. This is Art of Creation Homestead. We love y'all. God bless you and goodbye.